I've been telling people for over a year now to get out of China, and for the last month I've been telling people to get out of the market. And I went to 60% cash, but I think it's going to be so bad. I've shorted China, I've shorted the NASDAQ, I've shorted the S&P 500, and today I shorted the banks because possibly you've seen the same headlines I have, and I knew the Chinese banks were going to fail, but now I see Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank have got their backs against the wall because of their bad financial practices and the fraud. And I gotta believe that our banks are in a similar position. And I gotta believe that over the last 40 years, our banks and Deutsche and Swiss invested in China. And China's going down. I shorted the banks today, and I'll share with you how I've done these shorts and how I think you can make a little bit of money in the disaster that's about to come.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Between now and October the 31st, I'll be giving away $1,000 for you to buy stock. Moomoo is adding to my contribution with 15 stocks worth up to $2,000 each. Find the links in the description. Okay, let's do a little review of where we've been, where we're going, where we are right now, and how maybe we should react to it. The first element that comes into my analysis is I've been here before. I've seen the dot-com bubble. I've experienced the subprime crisis. The dot-com bubble and the subprime were very different. The dot-com bubble was all about an overexuberance and an availability of cash and just a hunger to get involved in anything that was .com, and then it exploded. I remember telling Trent, my son, that secretaries in California aren't supposed to be becoming millionaires because they got some stock options in something that is called pets.com. That just isn't supposed to happen. So if things aren't supposed to happen, they're going to blow up. Then we got to the subprime crisis, and Trent came to me and said, the bank is offering me a crazy loan of no principal payment and just interest payment, and they're valuing my home at substantially more than what I paid for it. And I said, that isn't supposed to happen. Banks aren't supposed to do that. Was it really your bank? He said, no, it was a mortgage broker. But really before the subprime crisis, there was no such thing as a mortgage broker. There were banks who made mortgage loans. But this whole new occupation, and so I experienced that, and I saw it, and I said, this isn't supposed to be this way. And we got the subprime crisis. Well, now here we are at the end of what we hope is the end of the pandemic, which was preceded by everybody being shut down and the government just throwing $9 trillion into the market, and a lot of inexperienced investors coming in and jacking up the prices of SPACs and EVs and all the initials. Everything had an acronym. Everything, we have meme stocks, and everything had 3 letters rather than a name. And so that exploded, and they bailed, and the market started to bail, and they bailed more. And now we have a situation that we've learned other things. We realized our supply chain was broken, that we were over dependent on China, and as a result of that, everybody's trying to reposition their manufacturing and bring their manufacturing back. And then we got a war going on. We didn't have that in the dot-com bubble or in the subprime crisis. No, we got a war going on now, not one that we've instigated, but one that Vladimir. And then our supplier China is now threatening us and we're threatening them. And so we've got a lot of fear in the market. And then just today, I showed you the headlines that we're learning again that the banks are playing stupid. And they've created these credit default trusts again, and they're playing with their books, and we're reliving the Big Short. So we've got all these things going wrong. So that's why I went to 66% cash just about a month ago. And I thought, well, I'll just sit on the sideline and watch this happen and not get involved in it. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And all the bad things started piling up. And then, as I said, I saw these articles that said we could have another Lehman Brothers, and it could be called Deutsche Bank or Credit Suisse. And I thought, well, I'll be damned if we don't learn from our mistakes, we just do them over. So I have now positioned myself to short the market. Now I'm limiting it. Right now, the limit is 10% of my holdings. So I'm shorting the banks and here it is, with SEF, which sells for about $13.72 now. Got about 1% of my portfolio in that. And then I'm shorting the S&P 500 with SH. It goes for about $16.37. Again, a 1% there. And then the one I'm really high on, or low on, depending on how you look at it, is shorting the NASDAQ, because they are going to be affected drastically by also the interest rates and they're just going to be hit hard. So I've got 5% in that. That goes for a bit more. That's about $51.74. And then China. And I've got about 2.5% of my portfolio in that, and that's YXI. Now, if you do these things, be careful, because for each of these, you're going to see behind them 2x or 3x or 1x. What that means is that they are leveraging up. If it's 2x, they are leveraging up. So, in other words, if you put $1 in a 2x, they're going to front it with another $1. Well, that increases your risk now. And then if it's a 3x, then they're putting $2 in for your $1. Now, if you get a one-day fluctuation or a 1 week fluctuation and it goes down, they'll empty you out. So to me, minimize your risk. Kathy asked me on our stock call, explain exactly what a short is. Well, when you buy shares in a stock, you're going long. Okay, that means you're putting your money down. You're making a bet of $100 that this stock is going to be worth more in the future than it is today. In a short position, you're putting your $100 in and saying, I'm betting it's going to be worth less a month from now, a year from now, than what it is. And as the price of the stock goes down, the value of my short will go up. Now, the only way you used to be able to do that was on margin, and that would be you'd go into your broker and he would buy the shares and then you would bet against him. But you had to do that on margin. And if your spread got too big, he'd come and say, I'm closing the deal out, and he'd slam you down. Now, I do it in these, the SEF, the SH, the SQQ, and the YXI, and they're an ETF. Okay, so I have no margin exposure there, and that's what I'd recommend you do. Now you pay some fees as a result of that, but you aren't borrowing money to make money. The only place you need to borrow money to make money is in real estate. Maybe some other things, but not in the stock market. You just don't want to because because you've got so many people betting against you. You don't want to get on margin. But that's how I'm playing this market. And again, it was my idea. If this is just going to be another dot-com bubble or another subprime crisis, I'm just going to sit it out. Now, a lot of people say if you're young enough, just dollar cost average into it, and as it goes down, you'll buy shares, and eventually it'll go up. Okay, that's to me, that's kind of the lazy way to go about it. And if you're young enough, that's okay. But if you're up in your years like me, and you like to play the game, you want to be a part of the game, then go the ETF route. And again, I think these are well managed. They're strong funds, and they don't trade as much as a stock. They're what we call thinly traded, but they're safe. And if you believe like I believe, this is not financial advice. This is just me telling you what I'm doing. I believe that the stock market is going down substantially. I would say we're close to halfway to the bottom, but because once Vladimir or Nijan or Deutsche Bank or Swiss Bank, it's like Warren Buffett said, once the water goes down, we find out who's swimming naked. And these interest rates are going to expose a lot of negativity in the banking system, and we'll have another Lehman Brothers event, and the government or governments will have to come in and bail them out, and we'll just see the severity of the situation, and it'll be a domino. It'll be one bank falls, another one falls, China collapses, their real estate market collapses, and that's the other thing. Why is the dollar going up in value? We increased our money supply by 40% in 9 months, and we're continuing to print more money. So why is the dollar going up? There's only one reason, and that's because all the other currencies are shit. Okay? I'm sorry, but that's what's happened. All the other currencies are going down. So the dollar goes up, even though we increased the supply of dollars by 40% in 9 months, and we're continuing to print money. That's just stupidity unless everybody else's money is not worth anything. So that's the pickle we're in, and I understand it. If you want to trade, international trade, you got to have U.S. dollars. And so the dollar is going up. It is complicated, but it's not as complicated as a lot of the talking heads want to make it. So no more than 10% of your portfolio in short positions, and these are where I'm at. That's what I'm all about. That's what this channel's all about. I can sit here and explain to you in big words, and you go Google it and try to figure it out. I just try to make it easy to understand and then tell you what I'm doing. And that's not financial advice. That's just me sharing my experience, my knowledge. Again, I think I'm the only guy on TV or on YouTube who actually was here for the dot-com bubble. But I will be here again tomorrow.